Good afternoon, Pep.
Good afternoon.
A full week to prepare for Hull City. First of all, just how are the lads looking after a few days of training now?
Very good. So we trained the whole week, and today we trained in the stadium because it's good as well for us because the staff here, the groundsmen have done a fantastic job in getting they always do, but these 3 months, working, getting it ready, and it looks wonderful. We already played one training game here against Wolverhampton a couple of weeks ago, but we wanted to have that feeling, because the surface is a little bit different, and to make sure that we cover all the angles for Saturday. And to be fair, it's been a very good week of work with a lot of confidence into the squad of coming from a good game. That's already 8 games away from home unbeaten, and that's another thing that fill us with pride, and of course the players, they all understand the importance of that game, as it was as well the West Brom. In the end, is another game out of 8, but it's a first game here at home, and possibly a positive result will get us closer to what we want, and which would be a really good season, because being in the situation that we are, 8 games to go, we will all have signed it before the season. Yeah.
You mentioned 8 games remaining, play twice a week now for the next 4 weeks. Is this where the squad will have to be used?
Yeah, everyone needs to be ready to get himself ready for action, so to speak. And to be fair, I have a lot of confidence in the squad that we have, because we have a very honest group of players, which they put the team above themselves all the time, and it's a pleasure to be working with them because of that reason. And they all want to try to finish as good as possible, for themselves, for the team, and for the club, which is the right mentality to have. So I'm sure that we will all be ready to put our body on the line for these remaining games, because they are very important games, all of them. But I agree, it's important that we monitor and that we don't take excessive risks where there doesn't need to. But it's about trying to use the squad, which is not a very big squad, try to use it the best of the abilities, but understanding as well that this is the championship, and the championship, you need to be competitive, you need to be ready to play in the championship, and we have that duty. But I'm sure all the players will help and will love to get through this positively.
And like you say, lots of work have gone into this season to get us to this point where we are at the moment. You don't want that to drop off with the last 8 remaining games. There's still lots of points up for grabs.
Yes, of course, because and all of them are very, very important. All the games that we have to still play. But if you think really what Birmingham is, what our team is a very competitive team. That what enjoys the most is to compete. They love training and they love to get ready, but they enjoy the moment of coming here for Saturday at 3, or for the midweek games in the evening, coming here, feel the grass, feel the opposition, compete, and this team, what they do is they compete very, very well, and they compete now better than in the beginning, and they're growing, and I don't see any reason why the players would not love to keep being competing, especially after 3 months of no football, and everyone is fresh, everyone looks forward, and then we know that it's not possible in football to win all the games, but it's possible to compete all the games, and that's what we're trying, and that's what we're doing, and trying to win a game, competing well, and if that game doesn't happen that we get the 3 points, to make sure that we get the 1 point, that's about competing. That's very important in the championship, and I see that mentality encored in the group, in the team, and it's very simple for me to give advices, but it comes to that point that it's not only the coach giving advice to the player. I think the team is driving from inside, as well. They want to compete, and I admire them all for that. There's very good leadership in the squad that wants to get through these games with ambition, the same as I want and the same as we want. But the only thing that I'm going to demand is for us to be competitive, because it's not always up to us to win games, and that's where a lot of factors come into play, like squad depth, like money in the pitch, like all these things that comes into professional football. But we need to be ready to compete, do it as good as possible, treat it with a lot of respect, the games and the opposition, and give our best. It is something that Birmingham we always done this season.
In terms of that competitive nature of the squad, it seems like and it feels like when we play at St Andrews, we thrive off that energy from the crowd. That's obviously not going to be there on Saturday. Does that have to come from within the players now?
Yes, it needs to be the 11 players in the pitch driving it. It needs to be a pure competitive, fundamental mentality. You know, it's like going back to where they started playing and there was no crowds. You know, it's like they played for the love of the game and to do good for themselves and for their team. So it comes from that, and it's not only us; it's every team. You know, it's not. We are a team that we've been doing much better away than at home, and we have 5 home games now. But the crowd here at St Andrews, the fans always know that we always been very competitive, you know, and always tried to play as good as possible and as intense as possible. But now this drive always came from inside, you know. We always try to give something to the crowd so they can back us, you know. But now it's about us understanding that we do it for the team, you know, and with the possibility that the fans have to cheer us from home.
Defensively, we were very sound last week against one of the top sides in the division. Are you expecting a different game without being gung-ho and out-and-out attack? It's a different prospect on Saturday.
Football for me is a very holistic game, and we had to do a lot of defending right on Saturday because the opposition pushed us into that, you know. And in the end, that's what happened, and we had to do a lot of things. But what depended on us is to do it with quality. And on Saturday we did it with quality. We did it without much extra running, because that's something that tactically is very important for teams. The more a team is prepared tactically, the less running you need to do and the more you can get through games, you know. And that's very important because then you have always more quality to put into the games. And I think the team, West Brom pushed us into that situation, and the team understood and managed that situation very, very well tactically, you know, and with intensity and with focus. Hull will pose us into different situations, you know, and my job is to help the club to build a team that when an opposition pushes you to something, the team is good, and when the opposition pushes you to something else, the team is good as well, to the maximum of our abilities and to the maximum talent of the squad that we have at our disposal. And I think on Saturday, possibly the game is going to be a bit different than West Brom. Possibly Hull will pose us different threats as West Brom, but when we are defending, I want the team to defend as good as possible. And when we are attacking, I want the team to attack as good as possible. But is it up to me to decide how much we can attack? Not always, because the opposition plays a big part of it, you know. But it's up to me to decide and to help the team to be confident if we need to go through a defensive phase, and to feel confident if we need to go through an offensive phase, you know.
Hull have gone through they went through a tough spell before the break. They lost their first game back. I know you do your homework on the opposition. What are you expecting from them as a side on Saturday?
I think it's going to be the numbers are on their side because only from the results on Saturday, 6 away results, and only one home result, which was Blackburn. So the numbers in this period, in this moment, they're on their side. At the same time, I think it doesn't matter where they are. They don't get relegated today. It all comes in the end of the league, so it doesn't matter where they are now. I think they will come here to try to get points to get out of that situation, you know, and because they're depending on themselves to be safe. So I'm expecting a very competitive team, you know, and the thing that I have in my mind is that when we went there, they scored 3 goals to us. So simple as that. So I'm not that naive to think that because they are now in the first position that they will be relegated in the end, or now in the end, that means that they are worse than us. No, they are not worse than us. Actually, the only time that we played each other, they won us, and they won us very comfortably. So we need to be on top of our game and top of our performance, because I respect all the opposition enough to know that if you're not on top of your game in the championship, you don't get it.
Potentially 3 points, well, it would take us past the 50 points mark for the season. Is that an incentive for you? Is that a safety mark, or are you just looking at picking up as many as you can now?
Well, I think for us, until we are not mathematically confirmed that we are in this division, it's about getting points on the board. Last season, we were mathematically confirmed with we had 52 in the end, but it was mathematically with a little bit less. But still, we need to reach that tally and then keep putting points in the board, because for the love, basically, of the game and for the love of the team and for the love of the club, we need to try to secure as many points as possible from here until the end of the season.
Just on some team news, 3 players missed that West Bromwich Albion draw. How are they shaping up?
Yeah, Christian has already been training with us and looks more possible, a return for him to the team. And we're still missing Mark Roberts and Sunjic, which maybe next week we can see of them.
Just very finally, there's a ruling this week: players who have got out on loan, played, and their seasons are finished now, can return to parent clubs and feature. We have 3 of them in our ranks: Charlie Lake, Odin Bailey, Josh Dakers-Cogley. Is that a boost for you, just to have players potentially coming in that you can use with a little bit more league experience than what we've had?
Yes, and absolutely, and I think it's fair as well. I think that rule from the EFL is a very good rule because it's fair. It's fair because the players were playing in a league that's been curtailed, and so they've been put in the position in a limbo situation, because they can only train but they cannot appear. So now they have a chance to play for us and to help the team, which I think is a very good rule. Under the circumstances, I think the EFL has been spot on this one.